Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Upgrade Shark from the Fortnite Victory Royale series from Hasbro. So this is a new line of figures from Hasbro. They recently acquired the rights to make 6-inch figures for Fortnite from Epic Games. You can see their logo down here in the front of the box as well. Now as far as I know, the 4-inch figures for Fortnite are still going to be with Jazzwares. I don't think that line's going anywhere. I think the 6-inch figures used to be with McFarlane Toys, if I'm not mistaken. And so now they're with Hasbro. So again, I don't think the 4-inch figures are going anywhere. If you're a fan of those, I think they're staying around. But yeah, this looks pretty fun. I think the artwork here on the front of the box is pretty cool. Hasbro's moving away from plastic packaging, so this is just a cardboard box with some cool artwork here on the front. Now, the figure is not included, as it says here in at least 20 different languages. The figure is not included. You just get the shark, as well as these accessories over here on the side. So I think this is kind of fun. I kind of like the weird angled nature of the front of the box here. Kind of gives us some character, which is kind of neat. I got this one from Amazon. I believe it was $19.99, $22.99, somewhere in that area. It was around $20 if I'm not mistaken. Have not seen these in stores yet. I just saw this from Amazon, and I haven't been able to get any of the actual figures yet. I do have a Ripley on the way, so that could be coming soon. But for now, we just have the shark. Here on the side, not really too much going on. Not really too much going on the top or the bottom. If we spin around to the back, it shows the shark here. And it does show one of the figures using the fishing line to kind of hook to him to jet ski, because he's got two little skis here. It shows you over here on the side, you get the two skis, a shotgun, a large shield potion, a fishing rod, and then I think this is a back bling, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll investigate that more when we get him out of the box. Looks like he's got an opening, closing jaw, and then he actually just comes apart in the middle so you can store everything inside. If you're familiar with the game at all, there are sharks in various bodies of water that if you find them swimming around, you can shoot them until they die, and then they kind of spawn a bunch of goodies. So that's kind of what they're trying to replicate here by having all these accessories inside. So kind of neat. I think that's kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the shark fully assembled out of the box. And when I say fully assembled, there wasn't really much to do. You just peg in these fins on the side, and then you go ahead and peg the two pieces together. Once you unwrap everything, everything comes in the box completely individually wrapped in tissue paper. The small accessories are individually wrapped, then jammed into the two halves, and then they're individually wrapped. So Hasbro has fully embraced the lazy way to wrap birthday presents, but it works. I mean, everything seems to have arrived undamaged, which is the name of the game, so I think this new packaging scheme could work out. But I really like the detail on the shark. I think he looks good. You can see kind of the edges of the fins have almost like a blackened quality to them, like the paint job. Then it kind of fades into the normal kind of grayish blue, and then you have this other color for the underbelly. I think it just all really, really pops. But I think really the shark's expression is where this guy really pops. The beady eyes, the big toothy grin. He just kind of looks angry, but also like delighted that he's going to mess you up at the same time. I think that looks fantastic. You can see the gums are painted up here and all those teeth. They did a nice job molding all that. The mouth opens about that much, and you can see the accessories inside. The fishing rod, of course, being the longest thing, comes all the way almost up to the mouth there. Now you can see the pin on his jaw on this side. You can't see it over here, and I don't know if that's just like a QC thing with mine. It's not a huge problem, but it is a bit of a bummer that you see the pin on the jaw there. Then you have this piece of the line that's molded on. That does not come off. But yeah, he doesn't really have any articulation other than the jaw, but I love the sculpt for the face. Like I said, those beady eyes and the teeth really, really looks good. So let's just go ahead. We'll break this guy apart. So you're just going to kind of wiggle this until it pops apart. I never know how much force to use, but here we go. So all the accessories are going to come spilling out. So I will dump those all out, and we'll take a look at those in a moment. But I wanted to show off, you can see they actually, molded some of this, like, I don't know what you would call this, the underskeleton of the shark, the inside of his body, whatever you would call that. So they've actually taken the time to paint that pink and kind of mold in the rib cage there, which I think is pretty cool. So that's a nice detail there. And then you can see the inside of the jaw in there, and you literally just pop this back on. You can see the little indent for the side fins. And then that just kind of doesn't really like audibly snap or anything. Well, I guess it does a little bit, but you can see it just kind of goes back into place, and it's not going anywhere. That is 100% in place and should not fall apart. It's not loose or anything like that, so it's a pretty good looking shark. I think they did a nice job with this. So I'm going to sit him here for the moment, and we will take a look at these accessories. So you get two water skis, as you can see here. They just have a little peg. Then you just pop a foot in there, peg it in. Should be pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to do, but that's nicely painted. Got some yellow paint there. Very 90s. I like that. You have the fishing rod, which I think looks really good. Nice molded detail. The bobber piece just kind of separates off the top. And then you can see you have a pretty decent line of rope there. I think that works really well. And the bobber's painted very nicely. Little pokeball there on the end of it. But then you can just go ahead and peg this back on the top here. Like so. Or I can completely miss. There we go. The little ribbon there was getting in the way of the piece that the rope is attached to. So be a little careful with that. But just snaps on very easily. Just pegs right in there. And I think overall that really looks nice. Very nicely detailed and painted. So I like that quite a bit. Then we have this piece of sushi back bling. Just random. I don't know. I'm sure this exists in the game. I just don't have it. I've never seen it. But again, nicely molded and detailed there. I think that works. You can see you have the little peg here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a figure to try this out on. But when I eventually get Ripley, I'll have to try it out. And it just pegs onto the back, I assume. And then you can probably angle it or straight up and down, however you want to position that. Usually in the game, I feel like they're angled a little bit. Next up, we have the larger shield potion. This looks great. I think they did a nice job with this. Now, the plastic, you can see it's got kind of like a foggy quality to it, but it is kind of like a translucent, and then it's got the translucent plastic inside, which is molded to make it look like the potion's kind of sloshing around in there. They could have very easily just kind of painted, part of this blue, but instead they decided to do a translucent piece of plastic with like a larger translucent piece of plastic over top. Now, it is a little clouded, I will say that. I wish this plastic... This is almost like, and it's kind of hard to describe it, but it's that kind of like softer translucent plastic that's almost like, not rubbery, but I feel like you used to get, and this is going to sound bad, but like cheap toys like bouncy balls and things where they would use that kind of plastic to put other things inside of it. I'm just not quite sure what type of plastic it is, but it feels like it's going to hold up. I don't want to say that it's made cheaply or anything like that, but I think it comes off kind of foggy because of that, and I wish it was a little bit more clear of the plastic, but I'm assuming it's just because of what they had to make it out of, because it is a little bit, I don't want to say softer, but it's not like hard plastic, unforgiving plastic, which I think in the long run is going to be good to make it stay and hold up over time. But because of that, it is a little fogged. But I still think it's a really cool accessory. I think they did a nice job. The big mason jar latch here, and you have this ribbon tied around the side. So very, very cool accessory. I'll be interested to see what they do with the smaller shield potions. That should be pretty cool. And then the last thing we have here is just kind of a pump shotgun. Fairly simplistic, but nicely molded, nicely painted, looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. So all in all, really cool accessories. Now, I don't have one of the Fortnite figures, but I do have this cog, and he's agreed to help us out. So I'm going to go ahead and load him up with these jet skis here. Not jet skis, but water skis. We'll go ahead, and they work. They go right on. They should peg right in, no issue. There we go. Now we will give him the fishing pole so we can hook him to the shark. And basically how it works is there's just a little loop right here. So you just take this. It's a little tight because this is kind of small and this is a pretty thick loop, but it can be done. So just kind of hook that on there. And then there you go. Your cog is jet skiing. Now obviously you need enough time or enough space to kind of pull him along. So it's not really functional, but it certainly displays well. And I think overall that looks really cool. Oh, sorry about that. The shark didn't appreciate being ridden. Anyway, I think this is a really cool figure. I like this a lot. I thought it was going to be kind of a simplistic idea when they first announced it because obviously it doesn't really have a ton of articulation. It's kind of just, it's really just more of like an environmental piece for the game or kind of a large accessory in the fact that it's almost like just a little boss for you to fight to get some accessories, but he's got a lot of character to him. I really do like the molding for the face, the eyes and the mouth and everything I think look really good. They did a nice job with all the detail, all the paint applications I think are really cool. Having the ability to kind of connect the fishing pole with the water skis I think is really fun. And just all in all, I think he's a fun figure. So if you're getting into this line, I definitely recommend picking this up. Not really a figure in the terms of, articulation and everything like that, but a very, very cool accessory. I do kind of wish he came with like a little stand or something, just a little translucent stand so that you could kind of have him floating up here instead of just kind of like sitting down here. Now I know Hasbro does sell various figure stands, so maybe I can come up with something. Or even if he just had kind of like a little peg hole or something down here, so that way if I had a stand, I could kind of peg him into it. Just something so I can have him kind of floating in the air like this, because just kind of sitting him down, it's a little bit of a bummer. But all in all, I really do think this is a pretty cool toy, and I definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you're going to be picking up some of the other entries in the Victory Royale series from Hasbro. Off to a pretty good start, I would say. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.